I saw it in my dreams. The idea. What does it mean? Is that idea the one I go with just because I dreamed it? I also dreamed I F'd Taylor Swift. The idea may be good, but remember, it's the process, not the idea, that is most important. Good luck. Barrier to entry is high, but chase that dream. Intuition is a very important part of decision making. Dreams can be made real, a process. Unfortunately, some dreams have to be waken up from, because some dreams are just dreams. Dreams such as, a good degree will make you rich and make you better than everyone. Academic arrogance. The government will take care of us, what for? Hope in the stock market and compound interest. Lol, this guru or that course will teach me how to be rich quickly. Fell too much for it. Now to think of it, I don't watch TV anymore. No urge for it. People watch dramas and soaps in order to sink themselves into the dreams of fantastical lives, lol. And we do some work. About a week ago I saw in my dream that I was running butt naked around the city selling cigarettes. Should I pursue that? Will it make me wealthy? An advertisement idea? Not naked, but just topless. Imagine a manly fellow strolling down the sidewalk, his glistening six-packs, puffing away on a cigar. Ha ha. That'd be legal in the USA. Freakin' FDA. Bleh. Anyway, I believe this quote is appropriate for the op. Build it, and they will come. I don't see the word dream in there anywhere. I'd be too intimidated to buy from a naked man. And it goes against. Pick up a book on dreams. You may be surprised by the content. No, not naked, no shirt on. We would need to convince the masses that the product makes them look cool and outstanding. Then it's a matter of time until we see this on Shark Tank. I have a feeling Cuban would like the cigars to be somehow unique, but the smokes have been superseded by e-cigarettes. I saw a friend smoking one the other day and it smelled like Christmas cake, brandy. E-cigars with assorted flavors? I thought it was funny that I haven't seen much talk about tobacco or nicotine products here, even though billions are being left on the table from unmet needs. I know, right? Probably it is the health effects of tobacco to blame for. At home, the cigarette cases are labeled with smoking warning hazards and pictures of yucky gory tumors caused by smoking, and they raise prices too. I'm not a smoker, but I suppose that a healthier substitute for cigarettes that gives the same effect would be a welcome to the market. It is not clear whether the op was serious with this post. The responses are fun and funny. The short responses that I gave were along the serious side, although there was no real information provided. I believe that we have an endless amount of knowledge. Almost unlimited. I also believe that we communicate with ourselves constantly. The sad part is that we don't listen. Our intuition, impulses, emotions, and dreams are us talking to ourselves. But we don't grasp what is being communicated. As a result, we make choices that in turn make our lives more difficult. With regards to dreams, we have the ability to live a very real part of our lives through dreams. Lucid dreaming is interesting. I've got no problems with selling vices. It fills a need. It's the barrier to entry that gets me. Huge barrier. Some lower barrier points though, like vape juice et al. Scale and looming FDA regulations are difficult though. It's a rough biz, haha. That's why I love it. I vape and use e-cigs. Speaking of vices, I heard a few states legalized drugs especially for the use of medical or recreational purposes. Very taboo subject at home here, but I wonder what can a fast learner do in this sector. For some reasons no one is touching it. Yeah, weed. I'm not sure how feels about that on the forum. I'm sure he'll chime in if it's a no-no. Moderate barrier to entry, scale is an issue, Needs are hard to fill, it's quickly becoming a commodity, so price is king. It didn't work out for me. Okay, let's reverse the scene to a healthy anti-drug campaign. It's more creative and dynamic as it is more socially acceptable. For some reasons, drug addiction is still quite rampant despite all the social services. I was wondering how apps could be a game changer, as ex-addicts are known to be vulnerable to relapse when they go far from centers of help. I'm game with the discussion. I think it's a great industry and a viable alternative to pharma crap. All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds wake in the day to find that it was vanity, but the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dreams with open eyes, to make it possible. T.L. Orns. Is there any book you'd recommend? The topic is such that I'd guess there are many not so good books. To the op, maybe try to give your idea an objective consideration. Don't want to look like a lunatic. There are plenty of books on Amazon that deal with the dream topic and they are all fairly similar. I do like the book Seth Speaks. Not about dreams but touches on it. If you ask people who failed in business, they will tell you that they followed their idea they saw in dreams. So I won't follow my ideas. I will test things to discover what people want because they don't think like me at all. As an INTJ, people like me are just 1.5% of the population according to the MBTI. The odds I find someone thinking like me are almost zero. That makes a lot of sense. Good to know, thanks. Hate to hijack this thread more though, haha. This company has it figured out. Whoever runs this company obviously has franchise experience. Clean and well lit stores, cookie cutter type styling, very specific processes. It feels more like going into a Chipotle than it does a weed shop. Every Chipotle feels the same, and every Strawberry Fields does too. They understand that their target is not the 21-year-old college dropout loser that gets lit every night, but it's the 40-year-old divorcee who just hit her 5th failed match. Come date this week and needs to unwind, or the 25-year-old receptionist who has swapped out her usual margaritas for the latest THC-infused sweet treat chocolate or beverage at her Forever 21 party. The number of needs that need filled in the weed industry is staggering, and Strawberry Fields is all over it like a fat kid at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Reminds me of this. Haha, for sure. Recreational weed license rule in Colorado. Biggest barrier to entry. I've loaned money to a rec dispensary owner in Colorado, but since I am not a Colorado resident, I can't have any actual ownership. And he's losing his ass thanks to Strawberry Fields in Pueblo. And his lack of processes. I backed the wrong horse as far as I can tell. It makes selling weed if done right, but I'm not willing to move to Colorado. Control is debatable, since it's still illegal at the federal level. Ha 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 ha. I keep dreaming I'm running away from zombies. So we have a couple possibilities. I'll let the experts on the forum decide which they believe is more plausible. I'm with that there is oftentimes to something to the dreams we have. Intuition. That's the word. According to a lot of personal development and spiritual circles, they say that the entire universe is inside of us and we are all connected by some invisible force. Where there is something guiding us through life, and has access to knowledge we can't consciously recognize. On many occasions over the past couple of years, I've had visions of things months before they actually occurred. One of them involved me seeing myself walk up a bluff, overlooking the Pacific Ocean, with a palm tree to my left. A year after that vision, I was living in Phoenix, Arizona, and a friend of mine from New York called me saying she wanted to go on a spurt-of-the-moment road trip. Our plans were to go from the Grand Canyon to Vegas to LA, and then I would drive back to Phoenix. When we got to LA, I was about to drive back to Phoenix and a major interstate bridge collapsed, so I was forced to go through San Diego the next day. While driving down through San Diego, Some type of intuition inner feeling told me to get off specific exits of the highway. When I was about to leave a coffee shop and drive back, that same inner feeling told me to go down a road in the opposite direction. I wind up at Cabrillo National Monument. While there, I walked up a bluff, with the palm tree on the left, and the Pacific Ocean in front of me. Exactly the same vision I had from a year before. It took a girl initiating the road trip, a major interstate being shut down, and some inner feeling guiding my actions, to get me there. Same type of inner feeling that led me to meet my now crazy ex-girlfriend, where I saw myself at a specific apartment in Granada, Spain, a vision I had a month before I knew I was even going to go to Spain. She was studying abroad there for the semester, so I flew over to live with her at the end of August. On my flight over, I had a dream of being on a date with a different girl in Amsterdam. Girlfriend turned into crazy ex-girlfriend. I left, and eventually wound up in Amsterdam, in that exact vision I had. The list goes on. What I learned from these visions I've had over the years that led me in the right direction. These visions had a different feel to it compared to other random daydreams and thoughts in my mind. Tune into the feel of those visions or feelings or thoughts or etc. that have come true in the past, and use this to judge the same type of guidance for the future. This is how I view it. Does this dream have that kind of feel to it? Or is feeling like a normal dream like the rest? Thank you very much. In fact, I have taken action on this dream idea. It is amazing. I am 100% serious on this thread. This has the feel to it. It is unreal and I am taking action on it. The furthest I have gone before in fact. Or it could mean that you have a fear of something in your life and you evade rather than face. Damn it, don't shrink me. Not all of us get to spend our day on the golf course. As someone who has had a few visions or premonitions, but is also a skeptic, I think that it's also worthwhile to ask yourself, is this intuition based on the universe telling me something new, or is it subconscious pattern recognition? If it's the first, it's fine to proceed, but it becomes more important to have contingency plans. If it's the second, you don't have to force yourself to make contingency plans because it's just pattern recognition. So if your diagnosis stops matching the pattern, you'll automatically course correct. Non-business example of scenario number 1. When I found out Mr. Supply and I were pregnant, I immediately knew it was a girl. Complete, 100%, bet your life on it knew. Except, I would never have bet my life on it, simply because that would be unwise. Instead, I enjoyed picturing a girl and told close friends I was pretty sure it was a girl. But I also made sure to ask the ultrasound technician to please tell us the sex because I did not want to be expecting a girl and then be disappointed to be holding a boy in my arms come D-Day. Using all available technology to find out beforehand would give me time to prepare and be excited. Non-business example of scenario number 2, after baby arrived, she cried sometimes, so I'd usually pick her up, and if that didn't stop the crying, check her clothes, then check her diaper, and then feed her. If my intuition said check her diaper, I'd check her diaper first, and more often than not, it would need changing. But this was likely pattern recognition. Perhaps she usually had a wet diaper X minutes after sleeping or eating. Perhaps her cry was slightly different, or the way she positioned herself. I didn't know why, but I knew what and acted accordingly. And of course, if it turned out it wasn't wet, I would automatically try something else from the list. I live by and practice them. Some decisions are based on them. I used to meditate and look for communications. There have been many. Not going to talk about them on a forum though. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Please plan, then share said plan here with everyone mandatory. You're not the only it John here. I just did a quick search and found over a dozen of us. I had an opportunity to get into a grow operation in Michigan at the beginning stages last year. The goal is to essentially create a weed grower MLM, for lack of a better way to describe it. I backed off because I don't want to get involved in anything that highly regulated. I regret that now. I see that the regulation keeps the stupid money out. I love this topic. Sometimes I want to sleep longer just to see what happens next in the dream. Best if you can decide what you do in the dream. There are some lucid glasses out there but never tried. If you sell your idea to people WHO think like you, then you got in France 1.5% from 66 mio, it's almost a million. From that million sell to 100k, looking worldwide even bigger? Is addressed to like-minded people, and I am sure MJ got his 1.5% that think that way. The ice cream kid looking at the Lamborghini also dreamed. Maybe you should write a book and reach all the inch people as readers. And why the heck you getting tips from people WHO failed in business? I am afraid you can't understand. People like me are very rare. I won't tell the details. But this is impossible to find a guy like me in France. So I can't teach 1 million guy or make a product about my understanding. This is nonsense. They wouldn't even understand what the hell they are reading. In order to have a taste of reality, ask Freemasons what they think of most people and society. Sorry, but I am afraid you do not understand. You don't need to write down or make a product you want, but what your customers want, and knowing how they think and from what they struggle is your advantage. It's in business about them, not you. When you saying they wouldn't even understand what they read and you mention the Freemasons, are you in the right forum then? We can make a bet that I understand everything what you would tell me. You are free to shoot me a PM.